Alright, this would be video 2. I started out by taking a regular hitch, which would be this piece here. It looks just like this originally, and it was a Reese one, and I cut it. I added this piece here to it, which is built out of 1/4 inch flat steel, 1/4 inch flat steel, welded to the side so that I could take this here, put it in here, and I have up and down motion. For the ATV, you do a lot of up and down climbing, and the ball is just not enough for some of these really steep embankments. So I started with that, and now our next step is what we're going to do is you take this is a 9/16 bolt, because I'm using 1 1/4 inch. The hitch is a 1 1/4. So this is the first piece. This is going to go into my hitch. Okay, and then this goes into here to attach the trailer. Well, now what I've done is I've cut this here, and I'm taking this piece of 1/4 inch steel, a 9/16 bolt, and I've taken and machined the end of the nut here. I put a washer on, machined it, so that I can actually slide this into here. We're going to weld this 1/4 inch metal to here. We're going to slide this in here too, and we're going to weld this 1/4 inch to here, and that's going to give me a swivel left to right. Now before I weld these, what I'll do is take this nut, and the reason why I have the washers in there is to give me enough clearance. We'll go ahead and tighten this nut up so that we don't have a whole bunch of slop. What we want is just enough tension. Let's tighten this up a little bit. So right here we want this to be able to move, but we don't want it to be loose, so we're going to keep tightening this by hand until it just moves, and we don't want it over tight, so we're going to leave it so we get it just to where it's moving. Then I'm going to put a weld right here. I'm going to actually tack weld a weld around, put a tack weld, make sure this is good. Once I verify that it's good, then I'll go ahead and weld around the whole thing. That'll keep this nut from loosening up, so that this here will now rotate once it's in here, and these two halves are welded together. This will now be a left to right swivel. Now, I'm not saying that this will work on a full-size boat, on a full-size vehicle driving down 80 miles an hour. What I'm saying is that this is just fine for an ATV pulling a camper trailer, something that's not too heavy. I'm using grade 8 9/16 size bolt, so it's going to be pretty damn strong. And it's not a bearing, so it's not going to last forever. There's going to be wear and tear eventually, and it'll have to be replaced. But for my use, what I plan on using it for, I don't see any issues with this. It'll probably last for years and years and years. Again, I'm not saying that this is going to work on a full-size boat trailer or utility trailer when you're towing a car on a trailer or a boat, but I'm saying that this is definitely going to be just fine for a small UTV trailer. I mean, that's grade 8 bolt, it's 9/16, and once these are welded here, you shouldn't have a whole lot of play in here pulling back and forth when it's welded, as long as you have the tension on this bolt right. I shouldn't have a whole lot of slop. You just want enough room between here for these parts to turn freely without binding and without having too much slop. But anyway, that's my deal here. That's what I'm going to do. I left a little bit of extra meat on the side of the welds here. Like this one's actually perfect, but this one has a little bit extra, no big deal. I'll just grind that down when I'm ready and fit it perfectly before I weld it or after I weld it, we'll see. But anyway, that's the plan. And then I'll have a full swivel left to right. If the ATV were to flip over, it wouldn't take or the ATV trailer were to flip over, it shouldn't take the ATV because it has full rotation now to the side. And since my trailer has the ball hitch, I'm going to probably go ahead and leave the ball. But you could if you wanted to cut the end of your trailer off and get rid of the ball altogether, since you have the left and right and you have the up and down, you could completely get rid of this. Use the hole if you have a way to attach your trailer to this just with a regular bolt. You'd have to figure out what size bolt that is. I'm guessing about 3/4, maybe bigger. But if you got the same size bolt and you just went through your hitch on the other side and connected these together, and you don't want to tighten them, you have to use a special lock nut which has a plastic on one end so that you don't over tighten it. That way it can still rotate left to right, but you wouldn't be using the ball for your up and down. You'd be using this for your up and down, and your left and right you'd be using this, and then the bolt, by leaving it loose, you would get this motion here. So, but I'm just fine. I have another video I made showing with the up and down motion how this ball works. You can check out my other video. Anyway, that's my creation. Hope that helps you guys out. Have a great day.